This is Spinnaker3 here with another amazing Mojo showcase, and today I'm going to be taking him in Variant 5, Chapter 3.2. This is the last quest of Variant 5 with the Venom Boss, and I'm going to be taking him on the extended buff duration lane. So before we get into the fight, it's worth noting that I have the Black Widow, Clairvoyant, and Ghost Rider synergy, which cuts down buff duration by an additional 30%. And this is because the champions on this lane have extended buff duration as a node, so they're going to have a lot of buffs. Now, the first fight is generally the slowest with Mojo since he hasn't ramped up at all, so it takes him 5 prompts before he enters his big Fury phase. And one thing that's a little bit annoying about Carnage is he has a massive amount of physical resistance when I keep hitting into him, and I could try timing it so that he gets the block proficiency buffs, but to be honest, most of my damage is coming from degenerations, so I'm fine if he gets all of this physical resistance because I'm just going to be dealing most of my damage through degeneration. So right now I'm just trying to complete prompts, and right there I got it in the nick of time before it expired. And I'm just trying to get up to my special 3, and I hit him down with this. Now, I don't have the Guardian synergy, so this is Mojo's base block proficiency, which as we all are sure aware is pretty low. So I'm trying to minimize the amount of blocked hits I take. So this involves beating against the opponent to give them a little bit of power so that I can then punish their special attacks so that I don't have to block them. And this also means I'm going to try to go for a couple of intercepts. And this quest becomes a little weird because I have certain things happen to me that I've never had happen to me in game, which I never expected would ever happen to me. So anyway, continuing on, I have my big Fury, I'm launching special 2s, and Carnage is slowly dropping. And like I said, this is the slowest fight, so I can guarantee you the next ones will be a lot more interesting. But here, since all his buffs are permanent, Mojo can't take advantage of it. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to bring Mojo on this path is to show that Mojo is just such a good option even without the Guardian synergy. While his sustainability might be a little bit lower than most other characters, he does have a pretty sizable regeneration. His damage is just so good. It's just so constant. It's always there. And he can become a path clearer, he can become a boss clearer depending on how you play him. And I'll be showcasing him against the Venom fight, and it gets pretty interesting. I mean, Mojo's actually very good for that fight, surprisingly. So starting off against this Star-Lord, I just really want to start completing prompts. I want to not have to take too much blocked hits. So if you notice right here, for the hold block prompt, I make him hold his block by hitting into his block instead of me having to dash back, hold block, and take a lot of block damage. So here I get charge a heavy attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel my heavy attack into a special 2. And this allows me to complete the prompt and then right away launch the special 2. So I don't waste any uptime on my gigantic Fury buff. So the Star-Lord fight is significantly quicker just because he doesn't have so much physical resistance. And I'm really able to cycle a lot of my special 2s now that I'm able to place the hater buffs on him. And right now I am running 4 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, so the hater buffs are definitely giving me quite a bit of power. Not to mention the fact that Mojo does have a sizable power gain on his base kit just from completing prompts. I mean, when I'm fully ramped up, he gains 50% of a bar of power when he completes every single prompt. And this honestly makes his cycle of special 2s not feel too mundane. And that's another reason I like Mojo. You know, with champions like Dr. Doom, you're constantly throwing a special 3, and, you know, the fight gets a little bit boring. But with Mojo, this prompt system never gets boring, in my opinion. So this next Colossus fight is where something really weird happens. So Colossus has the ability to parry you, even without the parry mastery. And this is an ability that I know about, but I've just never really given much thought to just because when is that ever going to come up? Like, I always use Colossus on offense, never really use him on defense. So it's not like that ability is ever really useful because I always have the parry mastery. But right there, I dash back to complete the prompt and I go in and then he parries me. And I was so surprised. I was trying to pull myself together here because that was a lot of damage that I took right there. But the nice thing about Mojo is you notice that right now I'm at about 20% health. Just watch how good the regeneration is when I'm at a lower health pool in keeping me topped up. I mean, it's just really sustainable. So another thing about Colossus is that his 3 initial armor buffs are permanent. So I'm not going to be able to take them away unless I throw a special one, and I'm not going to do that just so I can get optimal damage. But after that parry, this fight is definitely going much, much more smoothly. I think what happened there is that I stunned him, dashed back to complete the prompt, and then dashed in, and that took way too much time. And so I just need to complete the prompt after hitting into Colossus next time. So Colossus goes down, and I already have regenerated a lot of health back, and I'm moving on to this ghost fight. Here's another fight where something happens that has really never happened to me, and that's Ghost's phase ability. I've never really encountered it as a potential defensive thing, but in this fight, I almost get hit by it, and you'll see what I mean later. But right now, once again, complete my prompt, enter my big fury phase. I'm taking a bit of block damage that's not parry, which has reduced my health a lot, but once again, I'll be very sustainable. So here I throw my special 2 and she dashes back and she phases through the first hit. So she's able to block it. Luckily, she didn't punish. Otherwise, that could have very well ended this run right there. But I'm able to still capitalize on the high damage that Mojo just has. And to be honest, Ghost is a pretty bad defender. I mean, she's fairly simple to get down. I mean, that cruelty from her special 2 is just helping feed my degeneration, and her specials are just really easy to punish. So there's nothing too fancy here that really needs explaining. I mean, it's just Mojo at his finest, where he just doesn't have to care about a thing in the world, and he can just spam as many special 2s as possible. And Ghost drops in the middle of her special 2. The next fight actually shows why I love Mojo so much, and that's against Hyperion. Now, Hyperion's power gain can make this fight almost unplayable if you don't have a solid Mystic Nullified champion. But the good thing about Mojo is that he can turn Hyperion's power gains into degenerations, and they just constantly feed his healing, and they constantly feed his power. So notice my health bar right here. It's pretty low, but at the end of this fight, it's going to be much higher. So I'd recommend just keeping an eye on that. But here, I'm just able to cycle my special 2s even faster because of all the buffs expiring on Hyperion. And his power gain is hardly existent because its duration is being shortened by a lot. So all in all, this fight is just really fun, in my opinion, because I want Hyperion to gain power so that I don't have to take damage on my block. But I don't want him to gain too much power because then, well, you guys know what happens when Hyperion gains too much power. So this is the perfect balance of enough power to really just have Hyperion spam specials that I can then punish. But it's enough power that I'm not having to get hit by a special 3. And this fight was honestly really quick. It was one of the quicker fights on this entire path. Now, the final fight on this path before the boss is Invisible Woman. And on paper, this is a terrible fight for Mojo. But Mojo can actually get around this fight because Mojo does so much passive damage without touching the opponent that I can, in a way, get around Invisible Woman's invisibility. So right now, I'm trying to get around the force field, and I'm trying to let the degen drop her to 0, and then I back off as soon as invisibility triggers. I miss into her so that her invisibility goes on cooldown in a way. And then right now, when her force field is down and her invisibility is down, I can get off massive special 2 right there. Did you see how much damage that special 2 did? I can get a massive special 2, let the degens do a bunch of work, and that one special 2 cycle dropped her down about 40%, 45%. So it's a really impressive amount of damage that Mojo is able to get in a very short time frame. And that's what's important against Invisible Woman. So right here, I'm hitting her block a few times just to get more debuffs on me so I can feed my willpower healing because I want to get a lot more health before I head into the Venom fight. I was really hoping that I would have more health, but that Colossus shenanigan happened and I lost a lot of health there. So I'm just trying to gain it back as many ways as I possibly can. So right there, another special 2 cycle dropped her down to about 20%. And then all I have to do is repeat this one more time and Invisible Woman will probably go down. So here, I'm going to just try and get her invisibility off so my special 2 doesn't whiff into an invisible Woman. So I'm now trying to complete the block prompt, and she hits me where I can't parry her because I'm trying to complete that prompt, which is a bit unfortunate, but I get pushed to a special 3. And the nice thing about a special 3 is that Invisible Woman can't be invisible and miss a special 3 attack. So I just launched this special 3 to drop her. And without even the degenerations doing anything, the special 3 itself has enough damage from Mojo's Fury to finish her off. So now I've done that fight with a lot of mystics, but I must say it was the most fun and simple, and I did it with Mojo. Like, there really wasn't too much to keep track of because Mojo just blitzed her down in a short time. Now we're on the big bad Venom boss, and for those of you who don't know, he has a lot of energize power coming to him, so I'm going to have to play this really slow. So my goal right now is to take as little block damage as I possibly can because the Venom is going to hit really hard with the massive amount of attack. My second goal is to complete prompts so I can gain power and race to a special 3 before he can really get as much power as me. And his little Clintar buffs, the black buffs in the upper right-hand corner, those have a temporary duration. So I can turn those into degenerations for extra damage. Now, my goal here is to do a special 3 so I can control when I launch it. So right here, you notice that Venom has very little power and I launched my special 3 because my special 3 will give him about 1.5 bars of power. So in my head, I'm trying to do the calculations on, okay, will he be at a special 2 or not? Because if Venom goes to a special 2, I'm dead. It's so hard to evade Venom's special 2 consistently, especially with an extra large champion. So I'm mainly trying to stick to special 1s, hit him very few times, bait special 1. And this isn't going to give me much power, but because of all of Venom's buffs and because of my prompt completing system, I am able to gain that power much quicker than I would with any other normal champion. So this is really showcasing Mojo's ability to power control the opponent without really power controlling the opponent, because he has to hit the opponent very few times to get a massive amount of damage. And I've taken a few blocked hits here. I'm trying to mix in a few dexes with my blocks so that I can minimize the amount that I take. But Mojo's regeneration is really putting in a lot of work in keeping Mojo's health pool sustainable for this fight. And I'm still able to really get Venom down. I mean, he's already 50% down, and I raced to a special 3 on accident, so I'm trying to just dodge his attacks, give him very little power, and here I need to bait one more special 1 in order for my special 3 to not send him over a special 2, because if Venom goes to a special 2, I know that I'm dead. So right here, Venom still has too much power, so I want to bait one more special 1 before I throw my special 3. So there's definitely a few aspects to manage here. I'm not saying Mojo's necessarily the best champion for this fight. I think maybe someone like Doom would probably be better. This is just to show how Mojo can definitely do the job. And this special 3 does a lot of damage, and then the degenerations will do even more. I mean, it's just really fun to watch the opponent drop without me having to do much at all. So right here, I'm just trying to bait more special 1s. There's quite a lot of power gain to keep track of. Too many of Venom's buffs in the corners as well. But I'm not really too focused on that. But right here, I get dropped under 18%. And when you're under 18%, Venom's special attacks become fully unblockable. And now I'm getting a little panicked because I'm also at my own corner. So if Venom launches his special 2 while I'm in the corner, I'm done for. So I need to bait out this special 1. And Venom is just not throwing it. It's like, so frustrating when that happens. But right here, I think Venom's about to throw it pretty soon because right here, Venom throws the unblockable special 1. I'm able to dodge it. And here, I want to bait out another special 1. And this is where the fatal mistake happens. Right here. So I'm going to bait out one more special 1 before throwing my special 3. And Venom is still not cooperating. It's, for some reason, really tough. Venom's AI is very aggressive for some reason. It always throws a medium and like a few lights, which is different than most other champions' AI. And I just need to bait out one more special 1 here before I throw my special 3. So I'm just trying to play it passive. And right here, Venom throws it. And right here, Venom throws another special 1. And right here, I throw my medium attack before launching my special 3. And that's what honestly cost me this fight in the end, because that one medium attack sent him just over half a bar of power, which means that this special 3 put him right at a special 2. And I thought I was doing it so carefully. So right here, I'm just getting very scared. I'm trying to dash back really quickly to try and avoid Venom's special 2. And I just get clipped. So even though Mojo died right at the end there, just look at this. There's literally 35,000 health left on Venom. It would have been so easy to get that down with Mojo if I didn't launch that one medium. So in my mind, Mojo did get the solo here. I'm going to include in the title that Mojo gets an almost solo of this entire section, but Mojo can definitely do this Venom boss. I just went in here with Black Widow Clairvoyant to just finish him off. Nothing too fancy here, but Mojo was just such a great option for keeping Venom's power down and getting a lot of damage in that time frame, which is something that not a lot of champions can really do. So right here, I'm just going to try and push myself up to a special 2 and then launch it just to take down Venom, and that guy goes down. So even though Mojo wasn't able to get the full solo on Venom, this just proves how good Mojo is, especially in this variant. So if you enjoyed this content, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want me to do any other Mojo gameplay. Catch you later.